Hey y'all, this is Axel Herrera, Civic Engagement Manager with Poder en Action. Today we're talking about primaries and midterms elections. We're putting the whole Poder crew together to let you know what the scoop is. But before that, we're in downtown Durham. We did some voter registration this weekend and we got to turn some of them in. So we'll see you on the other side. Hey folks, so we got those voter registrations turned in. Right now I have my Durham Te Quiero Poder en Sí shirt, and we're going to be talking about what I mentioned, primaries and midterms elections. And we're going to focus on three main things about those elections. One, what are midterms and primaries? The second thing that we're going to focus on is what happens in North Carolina during the primaries. And then last but not least, when are they happening and why are they important? So you have probably already heard this once, but I will repeat it again because it still matters. Elections happen every year. Repeat it, cada año, every single year. And you may already keep up with the president's election, which happens every 4 years. Some of you may actually, vote in the midterms. Those happen in essentially the years between the presidential elections. But see, that's part of the problem. We only count on elections when it's a presidential election versus when it is actually a state representative, a school board member, a mayor, or a sheriff. Did you know some municipal elections and local elections actually happen during the odd years? 2021, 2019, 2023, not whenever there's an actual full slate of candidates during the even years, which is, this year, 2022 or 2020. Now, before I go on a rant, let's focus on this year. It is 2022 and we have midterms elections for this year. Sure, there is no presidential election. The governor of North Carolina is not up for re-election, but essentially every single other person is up for election. All members of the North Carolina General Assembly are up for re-election every 2 years. Yes, all 170 of them, every single 2 years, they have to be re-elected. Super important, this year we have very high profile federal races. We have a historic opportunity to elect Sherry Beasley as the first black woman to the U.S. Senate from North Carolina. The Senate currently has a 50-50 split that gives Democrats the tie-breaking vote for the majority. That's a very slim majority. Without that majority, issues like the child tax credit for working families, or immigration legislation, or climate legislation are essentially not even part of the conversation or going to be considered. At the federal level, super important actually, we actually got an additional seat. North Carolinians can decide on who the 14 representatives to the U.S. House of Representatives will be because we had one more seat when the census was fully accounted for. We also have a role to play at the state level as well. Roy Cooper, our Democratic governor, has been able to prevent and veto some of the most harmful laws by the Republican majority in the General Assembly with his veto power. The statewide elections this year will determine if Governor Roy Cooper keeps that veto power against anti-immigrant laws, anti-voter laws, and anti-abortion laws that have been tried to introduce by the General Assembly. So it is a big year for elections at the national level, but definitely here in North Carolina. As Poder, we will be sharing more about midterms because we got a long ways to go till November. And so for now, we got to start focusing on those primaries, which are right around the corner starting in May.